Hey everybody, welcome again to another episode of Just for Fun Games. I'm your host Azzy. Here's my boy Roy, and we're gonna be talking about what if this time. What if Stephen Strange lost his heart rather than his hands? I might be
I don't know what to do with
messing
my
up that title, but
hands.
it's effectively that's
No,
effectively
it,
the
it
that's
is.
effectively the title
It's what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands?
instead of his hands. Whatever. It's a long title. uh in the same vein, if you haven't seen the episode, we're gonna be talking about spoilers here, so please go ahead and watch that before coming back. But uh for those people who have a false sense on what kind of person Stephen Strange is, by looking at the Spider-Man No Way Home trailers, like why is he just like casually trying to do some shit? It's like doesn't he care about the fabric of things? It's like no, this is Stephen. I feel like this episode was like to literally be thrown in the face with these people who have this holier than thou idea on Stephen's integrity. Not that he can't be staunch in certain regards, but when it comes to a challenge, uh, if he's told don't do this, he's gonna do it. That's who he is. That's what gets him into most of his
Yeah,
issues.
and
Sometimes it works for him. This time it does not.
yeah, even in the first movie, before he was technically the Sorcerer Supreme, when he's doing the operation, he's got that cocky attitude. He's like walks away.
Yeah.
He's bold. He's arrogant. That's what I like
No,
about
and
him.
and
That's why
no, but
this is
in
why Iron Man and Doctor Strange clashed in fucking Infinity War.
no. Credit where credit's due, though. As a doctor, he would do anything to save his patient. Um, and the notion of in the first movie, the notion of killing anyone was very much not something he wanted to try and do. Um, but essentially, with the premise of this episode, uh, it takes everyone's complaints about the original on how like it seems like they try to tickle at a romance between Stephen and Dr. Palmer, and there really just wasn't anything there, and he kind of just like floats out of her life and into her life. Like he exits the scene as like an asshole to her when she's trying to give a damn about him, and then just kind of tries to float in. It's like, are we all okay? Is everything okay with us? I love you. Like the fucking bear from like Family Guy or something. Uh, but this one is essentially is like what if Stephen Strange actually did give a damn about Dr. Palmer,
Which
Rachel
the
Palmer,
title of
Palmer, and
this title of this episode got me. I was like, damn, he's gonna lose his heart. Like the steering wheel's gonna go jabbing into his heart, and I was like, yeah, my dumb ass would think that shit too.
no, so essentially, it's effectively that same scene from the movie where he's heading towards an award ceremony, but this time, uh, when he invited Rachel, she actually came with. Where in the original movie, she invited him, or he invited her, and she said, "Oh yeah, now that's okay." This time, she actually came with. She's in the car for the crash, and she dies, and it's her death that spurs him to find a kind of like spiritual satisfaction, gets him to Kamertage, gets him to learn the mystical arts, fiddles with the time stone. Only now more along the lines of fiddling with the time stone with the vaguest of ideas of possibly saving her, but still using it as a means to defeat Dormammu, and then coming to rest with him in the Sanctum Sanctorum as once he's left to his own thoughts, thinking about the possibilities of what he could do. And then we get a nice Groundhog's Day segment where he utilizes the stone to see if he could try to save Rachel, but no matter what he does, she dies. It's just
Live, die,
like
repeat. But except
he
he's
tries
just
to
gonna
avoid
die,
the first.
repeat, die, repeat.
And at a point, the Ancient One appears to him as uh from because he goes to the past, and then the crash still happens. Rachel still dies, and he's sitting there mourning her. Again, in the past, so you got to remember, the Ancient One, who has yet to die in this point in time, appears before him and informs him that Rachel's death is an absolute in time. You can't reverse it. It's going to happen no matter what. And Strange says no. There's lost knowledge there, like there was a guy who did reverse a absolute point in time, and I'm gonna fucking find it. The Ancient One threatens him, blasts him, but he still escapes to this ancient past where he goes to the lost library of Cagliostro. It was the guy who wrote the book that Caecilius stole the page from, the book that deals with the dark dimension.
Mm-hmm.
And then he spends thousands of years there accumulating the power that he needs in order to do what he's trying to do. I like this. I actually really like this idea. He started pulling the he finds out he needs more power that he doesn't have to achieve the goal he wants. He wants to take that from these demonic creatures. And each time he absorbs one, it like alters his appearance slightly before he takes on. He gets a different cape, rather than the cape, the cloak of
I'll
levitation
tell
that
you
he
what,
got in the movie.
he was looking like Jafar from Aladdin. That's what he was looking like. He was giving off those Jafar vibes. And he was
I can see what you're talking about now. I can see what you're talking about.
He just rolls up Princess Boo Boo.
It comes to a head when it comes to a head when he kind of like steps away from his work, not even realizing the passage of time. And the youthful librarian that he originally met when he first arrived there is now ailing and dying from old age. This guy who informs him that he's only living half a life. Shift straight back to was effectively our Doctor Strange, who is on the same precipice of the original decision that drove the Strange that we had been watching this entire time to make his fatal decision to go back and try to save. Have I been calling her Rachel this entire time? Christine.
Christine.
My bad.
Christine. And that thing.
Christine.
Yeah.
Palmer.
Go ahead.
Son
Go
of a
ahead.
bitch. So a psychic projection of the Ancient One appears and informs Stephen that the entire universe and the stability and sanctity of time itself was falling apart because of you. That when she tried to stop you in the past, she split you into two parallel timelines because the only person who could possibly defeat Doctor Strange is Doctor Strange. So then we get this great interaction between Strange and himself, where the regular Doctor Strange goes like, it's like, this isn't love anymore. This is our need to fix things. It's not going to work. Great battle ensues, but the worst happens. The evil Doctor Strange absorbs his counterpart and then is able to save Christine, but at this point he becomes like this chimera of a monster, and she's repulsed and scared of him.
Ogre from Tekken 3. He's big ass monster boss. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, get away, get away.
And now, oh yeah, she starts freaking out, and then the degradation of the timeline starts affecting her too. And then the timeline starts to collapse. And Steven tries to hold it back with his accumulated power, and at best, all he could do is like the entire space-time, like the entire universe collapses to effectively what was like a diamond. And Christine still dies. And he's left to wallow in the wake of this tragedy alone, as was always going to be the case. It's just like, it's tragic. It's extensive. I think my favorite part was as he was accumulating power, he started to almost notice the Watcher behind him. And then towards the end, once he had all this power to try to do exactly what he wanted, he could interact with the Watcher as he's like trying to hold the universe together. It's like, you're a god, you can stop this. Like, I could.
He said, "I'm not a
But
god, and even if I want to, I couldn't." He's like, "If I would punish you, I would." Yeah. Like the Watcher, when he even said it when like the first time he was absorbing the power, he's like, "I could stop this, but no, it would mess everything up."
he said, he also kind of like alluded to the notion that he didn't think that Steven deserved it. It's like, I ain't gonna clean up your fucking mess, man. You did this.
Yeah. This episode, I felt like I had to watch more than once to actually get into. This first time, I was just like, Groundhog's Day kind of thing. You know, it works sometimes with certain elements, but and then incorporating the love story between Doctor Strange and Christine, it was okay. Overall, like I said, the Watcher at the end. That's when I was like, okay, now maybe they can actually see what's going on with the Watcher and get him involved, so he ain't gonna be sitting on the sideline the whole time.
Yeah, the Watcher's whole thing is that he's not supposed to interfere, but eventually he almost always does. Uh, so we're really just waiting for that foot to drop. That we're waiting for that. What's it called? Chekhov's gun to fire. But no, I mean, it's not that Steven pursues doing the unethical thing. That's totally not the case. Just like in a confrontation, he has a need and a desire to fix things. Like when it was about his hands, he needed to fix that. He needed to overcome that. Or he wanted to get back to his life, and by fixing that, when it came to that trailer, the big thing that had everybody for Spider-Man No Way Home, the thing that like caused everybody to question whether or not this was actually Stephen Strange was like Stephen wouldn't do a spell that would threaten the sanctity of the multiverse. It's like, well, for one, this is a Stephen who felt very confident he could do it without threatening the multiverse. Spider-Man kind of messed that up for him. And two, Spider-Man came to him with a problem that he could fix. Same dealio. It's like, I could fix this. No worries. Nah. I like the episode. I thought it was endearingly tragic.
And it had a dark ending too. I'll say it
Yeah.
wasn't a happy one. So that was like another shock to me for this episode. I was like, well, damn, they didn't resolve any of this. So he's just trapped in that little diamond thing until I guess
no.
he finds a way out of it. I don't know.
No, I feel like it's necessary for anthology type series like this, like this show, like Love, Death of Robots out there, and they need to surprise us with some dark endings. There needs to be some tragedies. Not every one of them can end on a positive note, even when they murdered like all the Avengers.
Right.
Still ended in like a semi-positive note. It's like, well, Captain America's still here.
Yeah.
Coulson's alive. I would give this episode an 8. I enjoyed it. It did feel like it was covering a lot of ground, but still, yeah. I was very much there for it.
I give it like a 7.5.
Okay, well, drop a comment down below as to what you thought about it. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when we're posting out some new videos, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Deuces.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry.